Toastmasters International, as well as the unassociated remote hosting service. Some of your personal information, such as name, image, and any shared message, will be recorded. Your remote attendance hereby discharges Toastmasters International and Leadership Speak and or any of its members from all claims, demands, rights, promises, damages, and liabilities arising out of or in connection with the use or distribution of said video recordings, but not limited to any claims for invasion of privacy, appropriation of likeness, or defamation. Zoom Master, please start recording. Welcome to Leadership Speak. It is an advanced Toastmaster club for leadership development. We are one of the top 5 clubs globally. I am Toastmaster Deepthi, your Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, which results in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leadership Speak is the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focused primarily on leadership development in everything we do. Our timer has a virtual hand raised so that everyone can see who is keeping time. Our TMOD, Toastmaster of the Day, who will be leading the meeting, is Toastmaster Wahinga. She is a growth enthusiast, passionate about supporting people develop capacity. She is a published author and a certified leadership coach and trainer. Help me welcome Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Wahinga. The dice is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, SAA. A beautiful day, Toastmasters and guests. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining us from. It is great to have each one of you today. Welcome to the meeting. I'm excited to be your Toastmaster of the day, and the meeting theme for the day is Anchored Leadership. Have you ever walked to an organization and found a team so fired up, perfectly aligned, people who deliver results despite the weather of the day? People who are willing to go the extra mile to make you feel understood, valued, and served. High-performing teams don't happen by chance. They are sculpted with intention. They thrive because they're in dynamic cultures where excellence is not just expected, it is modeled. Such teams and such environments are a product of anchored leadership. Leadership that is rooted in purpose, grounded in strength, and guided by values. Toastmasters and guests, do you know of any anchored leader in your life or in your workspace? What do they inspire in you? What do they call out of you? Anchored leaders are people who have taken time to master themselves. And as such, they are confident, grounded, and adaptable. Traits that help them build strong leaders, build dynamic teams, and by that, build meaningful relationships that become of value to them, especially when navigating complex environments that characterize our business world today. The magic in the team of anchored leaders is not when they point direction or when they reward effort, but much how they handle conflict, challenges, and vulnerable moments. These are people who are not moved by curveballs or uncertainty because they're strong enough to shape the environment, to mold the teams towards a certain objective. So what they do with conflict, challenges, and vulnerability, they tactfully use these moments to reinforce values, reinforce direction, uphold, and empower their teams. This is what grounds their teams. This is what inspires trust in them, that glows them towards a common purpose. Anchored leaders call their teams to strength from incompetence. They form teams that are raring to go to uncharted waters. They conquer territory, anchor themselves, and thrive. The world today, Toastmasters and guests, is craving for this kind of leaders. The future of us is calling for purposeful, grounded leadership that is going to build, going to steer us through the challenging terrains we reign. The messes we have created with lack of values and direction, to the next emerging fronts of innovation, technology, and peace in the world. Leadership Speak creates an avenue for each one of us to anchor their leadership. I have a whole team with me steering this meeting. We are here on a mission to polish our leadership craft and to strengthen our core and become that leader the organizations the world needs. Toastmasters and guests, we are here today to celebrate anchored leaders in our individual lives, and we are here to solidify those in the making in our midst today. Guests, it's great to have you today. We have a lot lined up to make a choice of this moment count. Stick with us to the end of the session when we get to connect and know you better. Take a moment to share your details with us in the guest book shared in the chat. To kick us off for today's session, we have the toast speaker. And our toast speaker is Arouna, a macroeconomic expert from Senegal. Please spotlight Arouna. Here is a toast of the day, Arouna So.
In the last year of my training in engineering in economics and statistics, one of my mentors told me, Arouna, how do you see yourself in 3, 5, or 10 years? You know, you must set your professional goals now to have a clear vision about your desired career. And always think about the values that shaped you. Graduated from an engineering school at the very beginning of my career, I only rely on technical skills. And I was not diplomatic. My vision about my professional lives set up more than 15 years ago. And art skills I learned at schools are anchors I rely on in every time and anywhere. Unfortunately, I discovered that art skills are not enough to succeed in professional life, even in technical positions. So, and then I realized I needed adaptability. So, how to adapt without changing my vision and losing my values? Joining Toastmaster was a stepstone in my career. By discovering I'm an analytical communicator and what kind of leader am I, changed my way of working. My vision at the very beginning of my career and art skills I learned at schools are still my anchor. But now I became more diplomatic. I'm more dealing with soft skills, communication skills, and leadership skills. Knowing that sometimes silence speaks more than voices, how to deal with difficult audiences, and always think about your audience when you are delivering speeches, and last not be least, knowing that leadership is about service, and the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. These anchors discovered in my leadership journey shaped my relationship, first of all, with my loved one, and then with my colleagues, co-workers, and my supervisors. Being silent when people are looking for my reaction, speaking and working with humility and respect are now part of my routine. Ladies and gentlemen, as leaders, we need something to rely on for support, for stability, or security before making decisions. Leadership is a journey, and all leadership journey begins with vision, to have clear path on what we need to become, values along the way, and how to adapt to face challenges. As leaders, what we rely on determines our success. Ladies and gentlemen, let's celebrate those leaders who rely on vision, those leaders who rely on values, those leaders who know how to adapt, those leaders who know how to stay grounded to face challenges without losing their vision and values. Please unmute yourself, open your videos, raise your glasses to anchor leaders.
To anchor leadership.
Leaders.
Thank you.
Anchor leaders.
Good leaders.
Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. Thank you, Arouna. Leaders who have vision, values, and adaptability. I now move on to introduce other role takers help me run the meeting, and I start with the timer, Lynn Mock. Lynn, please tell us more about your role.
Good day, fellow Toastmasters. I am your timer for today's meeting. I will time each speaker according to the agenda and signal using visual background colors. Green, yellow, red. After each segment, I will post the timing results in the chat. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Lynn. We'll be looking at you to guide us on how we use time. Our next role taker is Mariam Sedavi, all the way from Iran. She is our grammarian. Mariam, please highlight Mariam. Yeah, the floor is yours, Mariam. Tell us more about your role.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Follow Toastmaster and the guest. As the grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay attention, close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I will take a note for any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, saying, or thoughts. As the grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the words of day. For today's meeting, the word is granted. Is the word adjective. Meanings stable, sensible, and realistic. Someone who is a balance and not easier, sweet. Example in the sentence, she is very grounded and doesn't get carried away by success. Second example, a grounded leader remains calm under pressure. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. I will give the grammarian report when called upon during the meeting and also report on the usage of the word of the day. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mariam. Guests, we are more than glad to have you with us. Share with us your details in the guest book posted in the chat right now. We move on to the next session that I've been looking forward to. We have the education speaker session, and our education speaker is Aminata Keita. Please highlight Aminata. Aminata is a passionate Toastmaster leader whose journey has spanned challenges, growth, and inspiring achievements. She believes that when we anchor ourselves in value, we rise stronger as leaders. Well, we can't wait to hear what you've got for us, Aminata.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Evaluator.
Okay. Anchored leadership, the power of values in action. Aminata, anchored leadership, the power of values in action. Aminata Keita.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Wahinga. It's a pleasure to be here today, and I would like just to take some time to share my screen before I move on. Just a few moments. Okay.
No worries, Aminata. We also acknowledge
That's okay.
that today your throat is not fixed well, but you are here with
My
us.
technician skills are being proved here.
Yes, it's okay.
All
Take a little
right.
bit of time. You're sharing your desktop now. Yep,
Yep.
see your slides.
Right.
Aminata, at this moment we can see your notes.
Okay, so you have to bear with me again for 2 more minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let me try and share now.
Okay.
All right. So take this and share. All right. Okay. Okay, I think we're good now.
Yes, good. Over to you. Our
Thank you very
educational.
much for your support, sons. Fellow Toastmasters, it's my privilege to tell you today about an important topic. A topic of value that was greatly introduced by our Toastmaster of the day. In our fast-changing world, with pandemics, economic crisis, social upheavals, people are not looking for perfect leaders anymore. They are looking for anchored ones. They are looking for people that can remain stable no matter how difficult the environment can be. They are looking for people that they can relate to. And they are looking for people they can actually look up to. Nowadays, we have so many leaders with titles. Titles are not what we need today. And I just want to take you with me on a journey, just between you and I. I want you to be a part of this talk. I want you to imagine, to think, and to see yourself in the middle of what I'm just about to say. We are leaders, right? In Toastmasters. But what makes us stable leaders? What is our anchor? Imagine, just think of it. Imagine a ship in the middle of the water, in the middle of the sea. So imagine the waves are fierce, the wind is blowing really, and the ship is dangling. The ship is shaking. But according to you, what prevents it from wrecking against the rocks? What keeps it stable? And I'm asking you, don't tell me, just think about it. Of course, it's the anchor. It's the anchor. Now picture a leader without an anchor. Imagine a leader with so many followers that people are relating to. Imagine one without an anchor. According to you, what's going to happen? What is it that is going to happen in the surroundings of that leader? Today, let us reflect on what I call anchor leadership. The leadership that does not drift when the storm comes. The leadership that doesn't get shaky when uncertainty comes. The leadership that keeps you as a leader steady in times of doubts. So, what is anchored leadership? I know you have your own definition of anchored leadership, of course, and I have my own definition, but there is, there is a definition that we can agree on together. What is anchored leadership? For me, sometimes life gets very difficult and heavy. As a leader, you go through uncertainty. You feel what we call the loneliness of the leader. Maybe some of you have read that book. The loneliness of the leader. You doubt. People are looking up to you and you don't know what to do. Yes, midnight tears, questions with no answers. What do? Do you just give up and run away? Or do you try to find solutions? What's your anchor at that time? So according to you, what's anchor leadership? Gets easy here. What, keeps you standing like I'm standing right now on my 2 feet? Yes, I can run away because I have the track. I'm doing public speaking. No, what keeps me standing here? What is my anchor? It's you and your support across the screen, right? So when you are leading, what is your anchor? What is it that keeps you steady? We all have seen leaders who rise quickly, disappear when challenges come. And we've also seen leaders that remain steady, no matter what happens. You can see that they are crossing difficult times, but they remain stable. They remain, at least apparently, confident. And a good example of that for me is the South African Nelson Mandela. Yes, that's a powerful example to me. He was anchored in justice and forgiveness. Even after 27 years in prison, the anchor was there. He was unshakable. For me, anchor leadership just means being grounded in three things. First, in values. Second, guided by a vision. And third, strengthened by community, your environment surrounding you. So how does that look like in practice? The first anchor I'm talking about is values. Yes, in our organization, Toastmasters International, we've got four core values. You don't know. Even if you wake us up during the night, we can tell you integrity, respect, service, and excellence. We know. But how do we put those values in practice? Values they are our compass. Values gives us direction. Without them, we lose total direction, of course. In Toastmasters, our four values are there. They are not just words on the page, on the screen. No, they are anchors. They are anchors. You know that the leaders in Toastmasters has integrity. They will respect you no matter what. They will serve you and they will strive for excellence. When I was a leader a couple of years back, when I was program quality director during COVID-19, everything changed overnight. No more in-person meetings, no context in rooms, and members were losing motivation. Can you imagine? I was just arriving as a program quality director in my district 94. I was so proud. And all of a sudden, no more in-person training. I had two choices: give up and just drift, or stay anchored in my values of service and resilience. I chose to serve. And do you know what happened? In that very difficult year, we experienced some of the best results of our leadership altogether. Anchors work best when storms are stronger. Yes, COVID-19, nobody can come to a meeting. So we're asking myself, what do I do? So I started attending trainings in the US, in Canada, in China, where people were better with electronics. I got trained, and I also woke up my IT managers in the districts. We went there overnight, like 3 a.m. because of time difference. We got trained, we came to train our own people, our sergeant at arms, our club presidents, area directors. And then we offered some Zoom connections for free so that they keep learning in online. That was the new normal. We could adapt to the new situation, and we created new motivations because they were learning new things. We were able to promote it. It worked well. So I want to ask you, and I would like you to please type in the chat, if you had to pick one value you would never compromise as a leader, what would it be? It's one. It doesn't have to be in the values of Toastmasters. One value that you would never compromise. And I will ask you, Wahinga, to read some of them for me, please.
Just a moment.
A couple. Just a couple, 2 to 3. The one that comes
Okay.
more.
Integrity. I see
Integrity, for sure.
integrity, about
Yes.
4 integrities.
Yes. So we all agree. Integrity is
Justice.
just a big value. Yes. So now, value alone is good, but we need more directions. What keeps us grounded in our values? Where do you use our values to go to? Of course, the vision. If we have a clear vision, we can see the direction, and we will just embody our values to take the road towards our vision. For me, anchor 2 is the vision. An anchor holds you steady, but the ship also needs direction, of course. And that's exactly what vision provides. After the term of program quality director, when I became district director, I still had storms. Yes. Pandemic was still there. And I got sick during that year. And I was to be operated, right? The only person that I informed that I was sick was my program quality director. Because my district leaders were looking up to me. I was able to motivate them so much in difficult time that I was scared. And I said, if they know that I'm not feeling okay, what is it that is going to happen to our district? I just told the program quality director, please, now you are the captain of the ship. If I get sick, if I cannot take a meeting to the end, just make up something. Tell them that my internet connection is not working, and then continue and finish the meeting. Never tell them that I'm not feeling well. During that period, I was proud to have reached the best level of our achievement in the district. Till now, no district director has ever reached it for now. We became Smedley Distinguished District on April 30th, 2020. I'm so proud that I was able to follow that vision grounded in our values. And I got a beautiful award from Toastmaster International, Leadership Award in times of uncertainty. That was the biggest reward. When I look at that trophy, proud of myself. I'm proud of the values that I've embodied. And I'm proud of the community, the people that accompanied me. And to that, let's now get to the third anchor, the community. Yes, how can I do all that alone? That's not possible. Alone? No, you cannot achieve much. Everything I have achieved in my life, in Toastmasters, in my companies, it has always been with a team, with people that support me, mentors, coaches, bosses, employees, colleagues, fellow Toastmasters. Think about your own journey. When club officer training when it felt overwhelming, what do? When people don't respond to the roles, when you don't have anybody to support, when they drop the roles at the last minute, what do? Who clicks you? The community is so much important. Your mentors, your coaches, your family members, you always have people around you that support you. So when you get to the top, although they know you are going to be the one to hold the trophy, to get on stage because you are the leader, never forget that behind you, there were people to support you during nights with tears, nights with uncertainties. And if African proverbs tell us, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We need the community. And for me, there are 3 main anchors to leadership: our values, then the vision, and the community. But anchors are not tested in calm leaders. Anchors are tested in storms. So if you are not ready to cross those uncertainty times with pride, values, vision, and community, you are not ready for anchored leadership. Yeah. Every difficulty is an opportunity to learn, to strive, to grow. The storm is what proves the strength of your anchor. How strong is your leadership? How anchored are you? Tell me the numbers of storms you go through. As leaders, our storms may be of different types: criticism, failure, uncertainty, and so on. But you remain positive and grounded in your values, your vision, and your community, your people, your team, your followers. So because I was anchored in values, in vision, in community, I did not drift. No, I did not drift. Instead of collapse, we grew stronger. Now people know in District 94, we can do it. The district director this year, she wants to beat my record. To beat my record, she says she wants to be really distinguished. March. And I said, I'll be there for you. I'll be part of the community to support you. So that's the paradox of anchored leadership. The times we feel most shaken are the times our anchors prove their worth. Now, leaders, what are you anchored in? That's a question for you. Don't tell me, but think about it. What are you anchored in? That's just for you. I want to think about the response. Think about it. Think about your past challenges. When you are doubting, when you're uncertain, when you feel like you are abandoned, you don't see the direction anymore. What keeps you steady? What can you count on? What keeps you going? Just take a few seconds and think about it. What are you anchored in? You must respond to this question. I used to tell one of my friends, if you think that you have friends, count how many of them can wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning, take their car and come to your house to rescue you. How many of them? If you can respond by 1, 2, or 3 people, then maybe you've got friends. Yes, maybe you've got friends. So when we come back to what you decide that grounds you, what is it that keeps you steady? At all levels of leadership, we need it. Whether in your family, in Toastmasters, in your company. What's your anchor? Now, think about it. The world doesn't need more leaders with titles. It needs more leaders with anchors. Yes. We are tired to see our countries shake, right? We are tired to see the companies just change direction because only one person has left. The world needs solid anchor. And that's the essence of anchored leadership. Not the position, not the title, but the foundation. The foundation. And we don't have many, right? To call ourselves anchored leaders, let's make sure that we are grounded in our values. Let's make sure that we have a clear vision of what we want. A clear and shared vision, because the third anchor is, of course, the community. Yes, those people surrounding us, starting by our family members, all the people that support us. our team members, our mentors, our coaches. To this meeting, all the people that contribute to train you in leadership speak, for example, are part of the community. Once you take on a role in leadership speak, so many people send you WhatsApp messages to make sure that you are grounded, you have enough anchors to be able to stand steady in front of your screen and deliver a compelling speech. Toastmaster of the day, back to you.
Wow, wow, what a speech. And food for thought for us. What anchors. Thank you very much, Aminata, for that speech. Guests, we are excited to have you with us. Check the chat. We have our guest book. Fill in your details. We want to connect with you later on today. We move on to another session where we have prepared speeches. We have 4 prepared speeches today. And our first speaker for the day today is Youselee Joseph. Youselee has been evaluated by Francois Bowen. Please spotlight Youselee and Francois. Francois, please share with us the details of Youselee's speech.
Thank you so much. It's pronounced Francoise. It ends with an E.
Francoise.
Girl.
Okay, thank you.
No worries, no worries. Toastmaster Youselee Joseph, speech title A Long Journey, the purpose statement. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his and her primary style. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share the impact of his or her style on others. And Toastmaster Youselee has also let me be aware of what she needs me to focus on throughout her presentation and in giving my evaluation. I will also make mention of her key focus that she need me to evaluate on. Back over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Francoise. Youselee Joseph, A Long Journey. A Long Journey, Youselee Joseph.
A few weeks ago, I was at a meeting at my work. One time came for me to speak. I was confident. I was well prepared with examples, good practice, not so good practice, even solutions for some issues. I have to tell you that there was any agenda shared before the meeting, even during the meeting. You may say, of course you were prepared. You are a Toastmaster. And as a Toastmaster, we used to say, a Toastmaster is always ready. Oh, not so fast. And so I would compare you to my colleagues. After the meeting, one of my colleagues came to me and he said, Youselee, I like the way you communicate. I want to communicate like you. People like to talk to you. People want to talk to you and they understand you. I was like, me. And he said, so I'm going to learn French. I think it's because you are a French speaker. The meeting was in English, actually. And I said, okay. I was kind of happy, but at the same time, I was saying to myself, I've speaking French all my life. Does that mean that I knew how to communicate? Not at all. Because a few years ago, my colleague Toastmasters, if you have known me, you would see a taciturn person. I was closed off in my own word. For those who like movies, I was like Princess Rapunzel locked in the hidden tower. No one can come in and I would not go out. No words, no interaction with anyone. Each time someone talked to me, I answer with my head like this, like that, or a smile. And people get angry. And they call me by some names. For some, I was arrogant. I was snobbish. What does she think? She can talk to us. And still, my reaction or rolling my eyes, still not a word. Fortunately for me, there came a time when I had to break down this barrier and communicate. So I have put all my efforts. I did big actions. Have you ever been in that situation or in that decisive moment in life when you make your greatest effort possible and you have just this as the result? I did. All of my great actions, as the result, I spoke with two words, yes and no. Oh, I had another kind of communication way. I use memo. I always have a sheet of paper ready. You want to know my thought? I will write you a memo. So I come from arrogant, snobbish. So now I was just rude, classy. And then at the same time, this way of communication allowed me to develop my emotional intelligence. As I was spending most of my time listening and observing, I could see mistakes miles away. But that was not enough because my relationship were still chaotic, whether it was personal or professional. Then a second phase came in where I finally understood that the trust that I was seeking to communicate with others would never come from the outside. So I had to find it within me, inside of me. I made peace with myself. I learned to communicate with myself first before I was able to communicate with people outside. And I came from a place where people don't do sugarcoating. You should have direct communication. You have to be clear and direct, right, Guerdah? Otherwise, you will be in big trouble. But I couldn't. I was not that person that can be clear and direct. I have my own communication. I am supportive, I am initiative, I am mostly analytical. So over the years, I have to learn how to still remain myself and use my communication for the greater good. So when my colleague the other day was happy, I finally say to myself, now I'm using my communication style effectively. I determine what is worth keeping, what is worth improving, and what I had to leave behind. And now I'm trying more to navigate between my different communication styles. I don't know what your style is. What I want to tell you today is no matter what it is what you are doing with it that is the most important. And know that communication is key for good relationship, for personal growth, and a peaceful life. Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Youselee, for that great speech about your communication style. We move on to the second speaker. Our second speaker is Aswathy Rajan. Aswathy is being evaluated by Pulkit Gupta. Please spotlight both Aswathy and Pulkit. And Pulkit, please share with us the details of Aswathy's speech.
Sure. Thank you so much, Wahinga. So, Aswathy has chosen the pathway Strategic Relationships. It's a level 4 Project 1 speech, and the title of this project is Public Relation Strategies. Now, the purpose statement of this project is twofold. The first is for the member to practice the skills needed to effectively use public relations strategies for any group or situation. And the second aspect of this project is for the member to share some aspect of her public relations strategy. Timer, please take note. Time is 5 to 7 minutes. I wish Aswathy all the best. Over to you, TMOD Wahinga.
Thank you, Pulkit. More than a ride. Aswathy Rajan, more than a ride. Over to you.
Some ideas begin as whispers, quiet, persistent thoughts that wait for the right moment to come alive. For me, that whisper started when I served as the area director. I dreamt of hosting a Toastmasters meeting inside a moving metro train. A bold, unconventional idea that never materialized at that time, but never left me either. Fast forward to my term as the Club Grow director. The vision to make Toastmasters a household name had only intensified. One ordinary day, while riding the Chennai metro train, my eyes caught a random advertisement on the train walls. That was the spark. What if instead of this ad, there was a Toastmasters poster here? That fleeting thought became a wave of imagination. I envisioned a metro itself as a moving billboard of transformation, carrying the spirit of communication, leadership, and personal growth to thousands each day. What fueled the next steps was the unwavering support of our district director. His trust gave me the freedom to turn the dormant idea into a living reality. With the fire to explore the unconventional, I began connecting with metro branding vendors, negotiating terms, and slowly bringing together a team that believed in the vision as much as I did. The logic behind choosing the metro was simple yet profound. The metro isn't just a mode of transportation, it's a symbol of movement, it's a symbol of connection, it's a symbol of progress. Much like Toastmasters itself, with over 1.5 lakh daily commuters, students, professionals, homemakers, entrepreneurs, and tourists, that Chennai Metro was the perfect canvas to paint our message. Transit media offers passive reinforcement. People see the same visuals repeatedly, embedding them into their memory again and again. While the project involved a substantial financial commitment, we viewed it as an investment in visibility and brand recall. We negotiated with metro branding vendors to ensure effectiveness without compromising the impact. Given the scale and duration, the cost was justified by the mileage the campaign would deliver across the city. This wasn't just about PR or marketing. It was a mission to show the world that Toastmasters is for everyone, right here, right now. With the creative brilliance of our district PR manager, Arun Kumar, we rolled over 60 visually compelling creatives, each tailored for specific personas, students discovering confidence, professionals stepping to leadership journey, women empowerment, homemakers finding their voice, and embracing lifelong learning. Every poster was carefully visualized real life speaking scenarios, vibrant Toastmasters branding, impactful taglines, and strategic placement ensured maximum visibility. The campaign did not just ride the metro, it rode into the hearts and minds of Chennai. The impact? Tremendous. In 30 days for which the campaign was planned, we received over 150 quality leads, of which 100 plus actively engaged with different clubs across the city, and 40 new members enrolled across the district. Social media buzzed with organic shares, commuters taking selfies with posters, Instagram stories, and viral posts like Toastmasters going above and beyond. District leaders across the world took note, many reaching out to learn and replicate the idea. More than a campaign, this was truly a movement that redefined outreach, sparked conversations, elevated the visibility of Toastmasters, and turned an everyday metro ride into a journey of inspiration. The leadership lesson was profound. A true leader must have the courage to take risks, think above and beyond the conventional, and invest in long term impact, even when the results are uncertain. What do you think, Toastmaster of the Day?
I totally agree with you that leaders must have the courage to take risk. And I have seen there Toastmasters outside the box. You know, having a Toastmaster meeting in a metro train is definitely outside the box. And thank you very much for sharing that story with us. It has inspired us to and given us ideas on what to do next when we have a campaign. We move on to the next speaker, who is Rozy Rana. Rozy will be evaluated by Jyothi Thomas. And Rozy says that she believes that experiences that shake you are the ones that teach you to stay anchored. Please highlight Jyothi and Rozy. And Jyothi, please share with us the details of Rozy Rana's speech.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. Today, our grounded, self-directed leader, DTM Rozy Rana, will be sharing her speech on Understanding Emotional Intelligence from Motivational Strategies Path, Level 3, Project 1. The purpose of this project is to cultivate an understanding of how her emotions impact our relationships. It is also designed to help us identify how others' emotions impact our emotional state. Timer, may I kindly request you to note, it's a 5 to 7 minute speech. All the very best. You don't need the best. You'll do your best. Thank you. Over to Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jyothi. Rozy Rana, from torn checks to anchored choices. From torn checks to anchored choices. Rozy Rana.
Have you ever been so emotionally shaken that you lose focus, that you just can't think straight. For me, that moment was in 1992, May 15th. I had been in my job for 1 month. I was serving as a secretary to the managing director then. My main morning task was to open the mail. We didn't have email those days. We used to have postal mail. So as I hastily tore open the envelopes to direct the letters to the different departments, one of them read, "Enclosed herewith is a check for 18 million shillings." Except there was no check. Horror. I realized that when I was tearing off the envelopes, I had torn the check. I froze. I just couldn't think. What have I done? I've been here for 1 month. What will my new hot-headed boss do? Will I be fired? Will I lose my job? Fellow Toastmasters, anxiety is like clay soil. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. Have you ever had such a moment? It was like a blue screen moment for me. Yes, Windows users know that. Mac users may not know it, but trust me, it's an ultimate freeze. Psychologists say that it is like your brain gets hijacked. You keep ruminating, and it is human nature that you ruminate on the negative. So I'm like thinking over and over and over again, I'm so stupid. How could I do that? What's going to happen? I just kept fearing the worst. My boss came in. Trembling, I confessed. He looked at me calmly and said, "So, Rozy, what have you done? Did you call the sender to cancel the check? Have you notified the accounts department?" Yikes, what had I done? Nothing. I had just been stuck in my emotions. And not knowing what to say, I just said, "I'm so sorry. I feel so guilty." And his response was so strong that up until today, I have never forgotten it. And if anything, I think it has been my biggest lesson in emotional awareness. These were his words. "Rozy, guilt is a waste of time." Yes, I shouldn't have ruminated. I should have acted. I just hadn't. Well, I must have stayed in the job because I'm still there. Fast forward today. This project number 3, which caused me to reflect upon the past, to reflect upon how far I've come from that anxious, young, nervous person to someone much more grounded in my emotions. This project required me to journal my emotions for 2 weeks and discover the impact it had on me, how it affected others and my relationships, and how their emotions affected me. And as I was journaling, I realized, yes, I'm calmer, I'm stronger, but in my meetings, in my heads of department meetings, when I'm listening, when I'm calm, when I'm inviting others to speak and allowing them, it's fantastic. We share ideas, there's collaboration, solutions to problems are brought out by everyone, and it's such a creative and fun forum. But at times, when I'm rushed, because it happens, sometimes, there are only so many hours in a day and there's so much to do. My teams mirror those emotions And what happens? They are also short. After realizing this, I've become much more careful. I've realized I need to be deliberate because you'd rather do few things and do them well and uplift your teams rather than do so many and not do them well. Fellow Toastmasters, this tone check moment, this journaling has shown me that anxiety can distort reality. For me, that tone check was money lost, when in reality, it was not irreversible damage. Self-awareness becomes so important because when you know your emotions, you label them, you're able to take charge, you're able to be more controlled and calmer. And when you are calm as a leader, everyone else is able to focus on their things. Today, I've realized more than ever how important it is as a leader to stay grounded. But we still get tested. I'm no superhuman. Last year, I got the ultimate test. My mother passed away, and around the same time, I learned of a betrayal by a loved one. Anxiety, strong anxiety began knocking. But my family was looking at me for support. They've become used to me being the grounded one, the one reaching out and calming everyone. And I then realized no matter what, it's about getting together and uplifting one another. That was the action. So the most important lesson I've learned has come from my boss again. Don't ruminate, act. How about you? Have you ever been so shaken? Maybe a fight with a loved one. Maybe you lost your job. Or maybe you lost the competition. Did you think that the judges favored the winner? Whatever the case, don't ruminate. Act, find that step that will take you further. Because the irony is that those experiences that shake us the most are the ones that can teach us to stay most grounded. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Wow, wow. Thank you. Thank you, Rozy, for that. Don't ruminate, act. A great takeaway there from that speech, asking us to stay grounded and focused. That's the last speech for the day. And guests, we are happy to have you. If you still haven't put your details in the guest book, it's been put in the chat again. Please go there and share with us your details. Leadership Speak is a club for leaders ready to grow, and we are happy to have you. Before we move on to the next session, timer, please share the timing details for each speaker in the chat. And I also invite the Zoom master to launch the poll for the better effort speaker. There we go. As we finish voting for the better effort speaker, we are moving on to a different segment of the meeting where we get to find out how we're doing, how impactful we were with our roles and speeches. And to steer us in this session is Lydiah Wanjiku, who is our general evaluator. When I asked her what she thinks about the theme, this was her response: that when you're an anchored leader, you're able to take charge in today's turbulent world. I agree with you, Lydiah. Lydiah, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, Wahinga. We have been grounded listening to fantastic speakers. This section of evaluation, this is where all the speakers will be evaluated. And my work as a general evaluator is to evaluate the evaluators who evaluate the speakers. And at the end of the meeting, I will give my general observation. For the sake of for the benefits of our guests today, in Leadership Speak, we normally give evaluation to the TOS and even TMOD as self-directed leaders. That is how we learn in Leadership Speak. So I'll be calling the evaluators to give their evaluations. To start us off, I'm calling Toastmaster Angela to evaluate our toast, who was Toastmaster Arouna So. Toastmaster Angela Brown, over to you.
Hello, Toastmasters and guests, especially you, Arouna. What a great toast. Anchor leadership reminds us of a ship. The anchor provides the stability, but the leader must still stand tall at the helm, guiding both voice and presence. A toast works the same way, short and powerful enough to ground us while lifting us up. Our toast today had great qualities. Eye contact. You look directly at the camera and making us feel included. Your vocal variety. You had tone, energy, and life. You changed your pace and pitch to keep us engaged. I like the fact that some of the words that when you spoke it with power to make it more impactful. Connect to the theme. You're relating to your toast was leadership gave it more meaning and focus. Audience involvement, asking us to unmute and raise our glasses created a sense of unity, and even though we're on a screen. I want to make a few recommendations to add gestures, and like a ship that sails, they carry words further. So I suggest you stand up, and that will help your speech to be more impactful, and especially when you add gestures. Finally, add a hook at the beginning, perhaps a short quote, a question, or a meaningful phrase. Example, what anchors a leader when the seas get rough? That sparks curiosity and sets the tone before the toast itself. Overall, you gave us a confident toast, a great vocal variety, and solid engagement. Standing or simply adjusting your camera to showcase your gestures and opening with a strong hook, you'll make your toast not that much greater, but truly anchored and memorable. So here's to you for leading us through steadiness and voice and showing us how to anchor leadership shine in the brief toast. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Angela, for that great evaluation. You summarized the evaluation very well, also gave the areas for improvement, which were very clear. And I fully agree with your evaluation. However, I challenge you when you're giving the evaluation. I noted you are seated facing on the, is it on the left? On the left. So next time we could just sit straight and face us so that we are able to get the evaluation from you directly, and it will come out very clear. Overall, you did very well, and thank you very much. Now let's go to the next evaluator. The next evaluator is the evaluator who will evaluate our Toastmaster of the day. and the evaluator will be Guerdah Felix. Guerdah Felix said this about the theme. Anchored leadership is important because it keeps leaders focused, resilient, and effective. Over to you, Toastmaster Guerdah Felix.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, and also General Evaluator, guests, and Toastmasters in general. As my evaluation is on preparing and also facilitating this meeting, you will hear what the Toastmaster of the day excelled at, what she may want to work on, and what made it the best. Preparing for the meeting, as Wahinga started the weekly group before 2 weeks, that was well done. She shared the theme of the meeting way in advance. She connected with the members, taking up a role for this meeting. I find that Wahinga possessed excellent facilitation and public speaking skills. From the start, she addressed on the theme. She mentioned the theme working with her, the Toastmasters, and then the guests. Everyone was covered. Also, effective eye contact. What Wahinga may want to work on, and this is one subject that she asked me to evaluate her on, is the transition. Some members had an introduction, some not. Wahinga called the speakers, the evaluators, and then the speakers. My suggestion is call the evaluators, ask them to share the purpose of the project. And then once they are done, now it's the time to introduce the speakers. That way, it's cleaner. In terms of transition, the other thing I noticed is that for some speakers, the general comment was, wow, great speech. But for the last two speakers, I noticed great improvement as the comment was more connected to the speech of the speakers. So for me, I saw that right there was an improvement. In summary, I thought Wahinga prepared wonderfully. She had excellent facilitation skills and public speaking skills. What she may want to work on are the transitions and introductions. What made it even more powerful? Her presence and eye contact as she could gauge audience reaction. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Guerdah, for that evaluation. You are able to highlight the areas that TMOD did very well, and also the areas that she would look at in order for her to improve in future. And that is how Toastmasters in leadership speak. That is what makes us great leaders. And I like the way you are very clear with your gestures and also tonation. That was well done. Thank you very much. Let me now go to the next evaluator, the evaluator who will evaluate the education speaker. The evaluator will be Toastmaster Nokawe Kosi. She will be evaluating Aminata Keita, who was our education speaker. Over to you, Nikawe.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters, our guests, and a special greeting to Aminata. Aminata, your takeaway message was very clear for me that the world doesn't need leaders with titles anymore, but it needs leaders who are anchored, leaders who have a solid leadership foundation, who are able to withstand any crisis. For me, Aminata, you have excelled in connecting with your audience throughout your presentation with the questions that you were throwing in now and again. You awaken our emotions, especially mine. With all your stories, they make me to think on my feet as an NCAT leader. Your presentation was well in line with the theme of today's meeting. You have showed that you were aware of your audience because your speech was just relevant to all of us, I believe, because to me it was clear. You effectively used the power of 3 in a way that encouraged us as leaders to be NCAT leaders. You use the power of 3 in a strategic way, where you mentioned that to be an NCAT leader, you need to check your values, align your values with your mission, as well as building a community. What I challenge you to work on is to connect earlier before the meeting starts, just to avoid emotional turmoil before your presentation, because the presentation was great, but your start, I could feel that it made you a bit anxious. Secondly, work on your Zoom presence. You've got a great way of presenting, but now we couldn't see your hand gestures very clear, of which I felt that we needed to see them clearly for the speech to, like, for them to add value on your speech. Thirdly, is the use of information. You use great information, but it was too much information. You could have just used only 3 stories. The boats in the ocean, secondly, the story of Nelson Mandela, and you could have chosen one where maybe you were PQD or where you were district director, not using all of them, because by doing so, you tend to lose your audience. Aminata, your presentation skills are very well. You've got a clear voice. You are confident. You are aware of your audience and yourself when you speak. So you used a great abilities of storytelling in sharing your presentation. In summary, your takeaway message was clear, was in line with the theme of today's meeting. I didn't feel lost, but it enhanced everything that we are doing today. And you connected with your audience throughout the meeting with me, which means you prepared yourself very well prior your presentation. I just want to challenge you to take your tech before you present, to work on your Zoom presentation very well, to limit your presentation so that you do not lose us along the way. You are a great storyteller. You are a great public speaker. Back to you, Madam Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Nokawe, for that summary of evaluation. I felt your evaluation connected very well because you are detailed. You gave the areas that the speaker did very well and the areas that the speaker is supposed to improve. However, there's only one thing I felt you could do better, and that is when you're talking about the area that the speaker did very well. Like when you talked about she used the power of 3. You would have even said power of 3 with a smile, because that is an area that the speaker did well. Overall, you did very well and well done. Now we move to the speakers, and I will welcome their evaluator for speaker number 1, and the evaluator is Francois Bowen. And what did Francois say about the theme? Francois said, persons prefer to be around someone who is firm on their conviction, whether we agree or not. And all show respect because they do not not drift in life by threats of all storm. The company will be sound and firm come what may. That is what she said about being anchored. Let me welcome Francois to take the floor. Francois, over to you.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry I have to have my camera off. We have a storm over here and lots of lightning and thunder. So I just want to try and preserve with the bandwidth. My presentation of Toastmaster Youselee Joseph. A long journey. Delivery time was 8 minutes and 5 seconds. Toastmaster Youselee, you definitely delivered a speech that helped every one of us to recognize one thing. Growth is possible. When you mentioned you were locked in the prison reflecting on your past, immediately I said, this was me saying behind the camera, until Bram came and unlocked it through leadership speak. From being an arrogant communicator to direct, to supportive, to analytical, you showed us through your growth from that question your colleague stated to you that they wish they can speak like you. This gives anyone listening hope why they should be part of Leadership Speak and Toastmasters on a whole. So you double down your growth on your communication style, on who you were before and to where you are now. And I highly commend you with that. What you may want to work on to help our visual learners when English is our second language and we're still not 100% fluent, let us not be afraid to use different means of software presentation to enhance and see what we are putting forward, to let the point be even more grounded. Because as we develop our English, sometimes, we have the rolling of the tongue and, different areas. And it could be a bit difficult when someone whose first language is English, they're trying to understand what you're saying. So it happens to all of us, okay? All of us. And to challenge yourself. No, you did said to me you want me to focus on your time management. And yes, indeed, you went over the time. And here's what you can do to challenge yourself with the time management. Cut short parts of your story. I think you're from the Caribbean, so you may understand this, which we're going to say here. Droppers. What is droppers? Just a little of something, and you flow with that. So cut short parts of your story in any conversation to focus on the main thing. Example, you were reflecting on the past. It was a little longer than expected. To challenge yourself again, practice using visual aids in presentation along with props, and pause at points to form to allow the audience to think. And they can post in the chat that you can see after. This form part of audience engagement. And what I say in here is that you're given a point, you just pause and let the audience respond. Overall, lovely speech. And I must say, thank you so much. And back over to you, General Evaluator. The mangoes are safe on the tree, Toastmaster Nicole White.
Thank you very much, Francois. I wish you were able to see you while giving the evaluation. It was so succinct, very clear, and we could get the evaluation that you gave to Youselee, and even the area that you had requested you to look at that was about time, and you're very clear and gave her the way forward to do better in future. Thank you very much for that evaluation. Now we go to the next evaluator. The next evaluator is Jyothi Thomas, who will be evaluating DTM Rozy Rana. Let me welcome Jyothi Thomas to give us her evaluation. Over to you, Jyothi.
I think, pardon, I think our next evaluator is
Aswathy's
Pulkit Gupta.
speech before my Rosy's.
Oh, my apology.
Okay,
The
that's
next,
okay.
the next speaker was Aswathy Rajan, who will be evaluated by Toastmaster Pulkit Gupta.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Lydiah. Now, Aswathy's metro ride was more than a ride. Her PR strategy was more than what we expect in Toastmasters PR. And definitely my evaluation has much more commendations than recommendations. Now, I believe, and what made her speech that good? I believe speeches are psychological dances, and these dances are propelled by the triad of ethos or credibility, pathos or emotions, logos or logic. So when Aswathy established that she has been an air director and the club growth director, that's credibility. She's definitely qualified to talk about Toastmasters PR because she has been there, done that. When she told us why does transit media PR work so well, or why should we even consider doing it, that played to our logic. She told that it's called embedding into memory, and that played to a logical need of why transit media PR works. So well done, Aswathy. I also believe that as learners, as audience members, we can be of different types across the spectrum. It's called the VAK spectrum: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Visual is someone who learns visually more. Auditory is someone who is more indexed on the auditory side of learning, and kinesthetic is the feeling side of learning. So I really like the fact that apart from a well-structured speech, Aswathy also brought in the visuals. Even I felt when I saw those visuals of the metro splashed with the Toastmasters PR, I felt in the middle of action. And that is a thoughtful gesture. Ultimately, the ask is bring anything that enhances your speech, and Aswathy did that wonderfully well. I also feel that as an audience member, we are simple creatures. Either we want the audience, the speaker to entertain us or to leave us with an idea which elevates our life. Aswathy's speech was on the latter. And in the macro side of things, she had an idea. She told us how she executed it, and she also told the payoff of it, which is persuasive, so that we can pursue the idea as well. But what I feel, Aswathy, is since you asked me to evaluate you on the audience connect, even though you had a ethos and the logos loop, I felt the pathos was missing. The emotional appeal, the emotional pull was missing. And that primarily happened because your speech had a macro structure of there was an idea, you executed it, and everything went well. The speech crescendoed into greatness very fast. But in real life, this never happens. If you zoom in into your speech, even though it should crescendo to greatness, there should be troughs, there should be conflict. Remember, the conflict is the hook. Share what went wrong. Share your frustrations or rejections or dejections. Let us ask for what happened and ultimately leave us with a sweet taste with the payoff. The conflict is what creates the pathos loop. And I felt that hook was missing. So if you just work on ensuring the conflict is incorporated well into your speech, not everything goes well the first time, Aswathy, but keep up with your amazing, the visual model, the ethos and the logos loop, and the fact that you educated us by telling us the idea, the how to, and the payoff, which as audiences, we definitely are grateful. I wish you all the best, Aswathy. Over to you, General Evaluator Lydiah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kulpit. Very good evaluation. Structured, clear, and we could see very well. Even your hand gestures were very clear. However, I challenge you, when you're giving evaluation, you avoid having a pen on your hand because it was somehow distracting. You can see my pen, but if I told you you didn't have the pen, then every thing that you talked about would have gotten it very clear because there were no distractions. In future, if you can challenge yourself to have the pen down, and then now we are able to see you clearly. Overall, well done, and thank you very much. We go to now the next evaluator, who is Jyothi Thomas, who will be evaluating DTM Rozy Rana. Let me welcome Jyothi Thomas to take the stage. Over to you, Jyothi.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. What shakes us teaches us to stay strong. That was the main takeaway. That grounded me. Let me start with the opening. A rhetorical question that Rozy threw at us. Have you ever been shaken? This is something which I learned from another evaluator, Guerdah, who said, ever since, and she banged me on that, and that's in my head. That's what emotional speeches have to do to us. This particular speech, Rozy, is not about technical structure. It's all about emotions, emotional intelligence. Now, I'm going to throw the question to all of us. What's in it for us? If I have to ask you, what did you feel? Did the speaker connect with you? Did she feel the emotions that she felt? Did you feel? Did she draw you into her journey? I would say yes, over and over and over. She did. She used that with so much of stress. She brought in something very interesting. So I cannot even give her a recommendation. I would have said, you didn't do this, you could have done that too. Two stories, a professional story and a personal story. Her boss dealing with her when she tore the check and her personal loss that time, how somebody in the family did whatever and how did she deal with it. So there are two authentic stories. For a speech like this, it's important to show what emotions mean and how we deal with it. A very powerful message that I got. You meant guilt. Somebody said something? Okay. Guilt is a waste of time. That's a sharp impact that I needed it so much. Thank you for that. You also brought in something very important where you asked the questions. At the end, you left everybody with a call to action. You spoke about how has any evaluator, a judge in your speeches, have they been biased? What is your emotion then? That was a very real-time situation, which all of us just know. I would say it is easy to say all this, but Rozy connected it with journaling. And that is a requirement for the project. So there was a check, 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 and all that. For speeches like this, we can't say what was less. I can only say what more. Rozy, I wish you had said, I did all this then. How is today's Rozy doing it? Because your voice brings out the best. You're so calm. How can you do that? You're so full of care. How do you do that? With that, Rozy, I think it was a fantastic speech because it's about emotions. If it was a regular speech, I won't use a superlative. Finally, I would like to say, you certainly shook me up and you taught me something, and so did the audience. Thank you. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Jyothi, for that detailed evaluation. We were able to follow you during the evaluation, and also the tonation that you used when giving the evaluation were very clear. Thank you for that. Well done. Now let me request the grammarian to give her report. Our grammarian Mariam, welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, General Evaluation, fellow Toastmaster and guest. Welcome again. According to the word of the day, granted, wow, using around general education session used 3 times. Amina, Jyothi 2 times, Rozy 1 times, Lydiah 1 times, Angela 1 times, and Francis also 1 times. There is so many actually sentence as the takeaway, as the grammarian we need to consider, because all the speaker and the evaluation doing amazing job. Regarding for the Toastmaster Arouna, he mentioned skill around are not never enough. True, the leaderships is the anchor in the adaptability and service. From the Youselee, she making, if they're making this one will be more better. I am trying more to navigate. If she mentioned trying to negate more, will be much more better. As the through the leadership, Aswathy mentioned, as the through the leadership, leaders tries to take the risk, think beyond the conversation. Rozy, I learned the hardest lesson in the emotional awareness. Guilt is the waste energy, as the takeaway. As the Guerdah, mastering the prepare is the meeting will be amazing. Nokawi, your presentation brilliant. Connect with the audience. Only there is some we can say regarding for the one correction, but we can say without and the ankle, even the biggest ship wrecks in the storm is the correct way. Without the ankle, even the biggest ship wrecks the S in the storm. Regarding for the Francis, we can say there must it will be catch me your journey from the communicator to the confidence and supportive and the unethical speaker inspire us all, showing that the growth is the always possible. As actually as the grammarian, there is too many takeaway we can say it, and just already which I mentioned, we can say this each sentence there is too many like the takeaway, and we can use in the daily and even in the workplace. Over to you, the general evaluation.
Thank you very much, grammarian Mariam. Well done. And we could tell that you are a keen listener. You picked several areas and also the usage of the word. And I commend you also because I saw you posted it on the chat, the word of the day. Thank you very much. Well done. I request the timer to post the report on the chat. Thank you very much, Lynn, for that. And Zoom Master, may I request you to launch the poll for the beta speaker, beta evaluators. Thank you for that. Now let me go to my general evaluation on the observation that I did during the meeting. I'll start with the preparation. Well done, TMOD. TMOD, you formed the group early 2 weeks back, and I could see you are very active on that chat and following up with their role takers. Secondly, even when we're having their training, also you followed up to make sure that the role takers came for the training. And even when you started the meeting, you started with a high note. Thank you very much. There's an area that I noted that you could work on, especially when the meeting started. I noted the greeter was not there, and the TMOD joined 11 minutes, while the TMOD is supposed to join 30 minutes earlier. And why is it important as self-directed leaders? When you join early, you are able to confirm whether all the role takers are there, and you're able to find out on that. And also for the other role takers, when you join early, you're supposed to join 15 minutes earlier. When you join, you're able also to test your gadget and to get to know whether it's working or not working, and you can get help. Overall, we did very well. Despite the few changes that were there, we did well, and I commend all the role takers. And I give my commendation to the SAA, the role takers, the timer, and the grammarian for the for the way that they took their role very well. Well done. Thank you very much, and back to you, TMOD.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for that feedback that will inform our next sessions, how we show up. And thank you for spearheading the active listening session. From the feedback given, definitely people are all ears. I want to thank everyone for showing up and pulling their strings in the meeting today. Great effort there, even to practice for the roles, even for the speeches. A lot has happened behind the scenes with the VPE, and I'm really grateful because it has made this meeting what it has been. A special mention to Jyothi, who I have carried along almost everywhere, and her warmth and charm has allowed me to navigate this journey quite well. Let's find out what the thought speaker of the day thinks about this theme. Her interpretation of the theme to her is anchor leadership is about being embeddable in what matters most. Maria Kusin, the floor is yours.
Man is but a reed, the weakest in nature, but is a thinking reed. Quote of a French philosopher, Blaise Pascal. Pascal's profound insight captured the essence of unshared leadership. Like a reed, we may appear fragile against life's storms, yet our capacity for forward reflection, our ability to bend without breaking, is precisely what makes us resilient leaders. The paradox of strength. True leadership isn't about rigid authority or unheld control. It's about being grounded in our core values while remaining flexible enough to navigate uncertainty. The reed survives the hurricane not because it's the strongest, but because it knows how to yield without losing its roots. Your leadership anchor. When pressure mounts and uncertainty clouds judgment, anchor leaders don't panic. They pause, think, and respond from the center. They understand that vulnerability and wisdom lead authentic strength. Flexibility and values gives us sustainable leadership. Self-awareness and actions lies trust influence. The daily practice. Today, ask yourself, what makes me bend without breaking? Your answer reveals your leadership anchor, that unshakable foundation of purpose and principle that keeps you grounded when everything else shifts. Remember, the mightiest oak can be uprooted by the storm, but the humble reed endures. In our thinking lies our strength. In our grounding lies our power to inspire others. Anchor leadership isn't about being unbreakable. It's about being unbendable in what matters most. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thanks, Marie. You have powerfully put the dots, a summary of what the theme of the day was, and captured the theme quite well. How much adaptable as a leader one can be is what makes them an anchored leader. Great, thank you for that session. We now get to know who wowed the audience with your speech and evaluations, and get to know the awards of the day. Who carried the day as the best effort speaker or the best evaluator? Let's check, let's find out. The best effort speaker is waiting on the best effort speaker, Rozy Rana. Let's appreciate Rozy. Congratulations, Rozy, for being the best effort speaker for today's meeting.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations, Rozy. We move on to the next award, the Best Evaluator Award. And who earned the Best Evaluator Award for today's meeting? Jyothi Thomas. Congratulations, Jyothi, for being the best evaluator for today's speaking. Congratulations. Congratulations. Well, that marks the end of our meeting today. And to sum it all, I think what came through is that there isn't much we can do with uncertainty.
Yes. Wahinga, I haven't spoken to the guest.
Yes, I'm getting there, Holmes. Thanks, and thanks for the heads up.
Do the closing comments later after I speak. I'll let you adjourn the
Okay,
meeting.
fine. All right. So then we get to know who we have in the meeting, who put their names in the leadership, in the guest book. And over to you, Holmes, to handle that session.
Thank you so much, Wahinga. And to all the members and guests, thank you so much for staying with us throughout the meeting. Let me start off with speaking with the guests that have signed up the guest book. Rashmi Udeshi, are you available to speak?
Yeah. Hello. Greetings to all.
How do you
Greetings.
find today's meeting?
It was amazing, incredible speeches, and even the theme of the day was anchored leadership is truly inspiring, and I truly believe in that as today's leaders. I myself believe in anchored leadership, so I think it was just all the speeches, evaluation were really remarkable. Thank you for having me here.
Excellent, Rashmi. I see that you have indicated you're interested to join the club. Can I just confirm that you have completed your level 3 of at least your first pathway?
Yes, I have. And in fact, I have submitted my membership form to BRUM.
Oh, great. Looking forward to having you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rashmi.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let me move on to some of the other guests. Sashni, are you available to speak? Sashni Stone? Rose Otundo? Rose Otundo?
Oh, hello. Thank you very much for calling upon me. I'm
Hi,
actually a
Rose.
member who's going to renew within the month. I would not say I'm new, but the meeting was awesome and there's so much growth. Thank you. Can't wait
Thank
to
you.
be back.
Thank you so much, Rose. Nomfundo, Nomfundo?
Thank you very much. I've enjoyed the session. I now know how to be an NCAT leader. Thank you.
Thank you. Merlin Merville. I would like to call upon some of our members who are playing the roles for the first time. Helene, how was your timer experience today?
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, Helene.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, today I felt nervous, but when I took action, yeah, at that moment I pay a lot attention, each of you, and I'm really happy today because I realize when I focus maximum on each of you, and I realize I have learned a lot from speaker evaluators. So that is a great experience for me. Thank you very much. And thank you, Irene. Thank you for your supporting. You help me to do the best in this role. Thank you very much. Back to
Good,
you.
Helene. I do want to affirm that you do a good job today. Thank you so much for your service. Let me also invite Sonia for her comment. Sonia, you are the first time today is the first time you are the PR master, and by the way, you are also the first member who is not in the PR committee doing the PR master role. How do you feel, Sonia?
Actually, I'm working on it. Thank you for asking me, Holmes. I am doing great. I can just say a big thank you to everyone for the number one. Thank you to my trainer, and thank you to everyone for the practice session that we had on Thursday. It really made it very clear what to do, and it made it a lot easier to prepare and to be ready for it. So thank you, everyone. Thank you. It was fantastic. I loved it.
Thank you so much, Sonia. The person I want to speak to, I hope it doesn't come too much as a surprise. Wahinga, this is your first TMOD role, and you are a quite new member compared to many of us here. How do you feel?
Well, I was riding the waves, and well, I didn't drown, so I think it's been a good experience. And I think what I have loved most is the support I get from members. You know, even before you have asked for the support, they know you need that support, and they offer to work with you. And I have had a fantastic team. I know we have had challenges with network, for example, and yeah, we managed that quite well. So it's a great experience, I think, because it allows you also to plan properly and to think through the roles differently. So I loved it.
Thank you so much, Wahinga. While you stay on here for a while before I hand over to you, I'd just like to emphasize to our guest, the reason why Wahinga is saying all these things is because of the expectations and the demands we place on the Toastmaster of the day to help the TMOD become a self-directed leader. As early as 3 to 4 weeks in advance, they come out with the team. They come up with the writing of the marketing materials. They also have to connect with each and every single role player, speaker, and evaluator to coordinate to ensure that they all know what to do. Of course, as of any other event, even corporate event, some things do happen along the way, and we find our ways around it. And I can say, for today's session, Wahinga did a good job to ensure that from a guest perspective, the experience will be smooth and is well supported by around 20 role takers and players and another set of trainers, some of whom may not be here today. Thank you so much for everybody's support, and guests, I do hope you had a very good time. Now I'd like to hand back the time to our TMOD, our meeting leader, to help us to conclude and adjourn the meeting. Over to you, TMOD Wahinga.
Thank you. Thank you, President Holmes. Been a fantastic meeting. I hope you have all enjoyed being here. And what I would say about today and today's theme is that there isn't much we can do with uncertainty. We can't delegate curveballs, but with a vision, with our values grounded, and our ability to be adaptable, we can face those moments without drifting. It's great being your TMOD. And here at Leadership Speak, we meet about 2 to 3 times a week, preparing for each of our roles to ensure that we show up as good self-directed leaders. And that's how we equip ourselves to shape our environments, to reflect who we are despite challenges, to build strong teams and deliver on objectives. What a day. What a meeting. I have enjoyed myself. I hope you have. And if there's nothing else from our president, I call the meeting to a close at this moment. You can stay with us longer, guests and members. We can have a conversation.